I want to help the little kids get killed, injured in these inner cities through violence. I want to do something to help them, and I want to do something to help police officers and their families after they get shot and killed or even just getting injured. Because this is a shame. They don't have a name. They don't have a voice. They don't have an identity. They have nothing. They get nothing. They mama, where the payout? Who's gonna pay Jaslynn's family? Who's gonna pay Brian's family? Do he get a $27 million payout? Huh? Dexter, did he get a $27 million payout? Do they get a $27 million payout? Are people marching in the streets celebrating when the people that killed them go to jail? I just want to know. It breaks my heart because I feel like that they call me whitewashing. I'm an Uncle Tom sellout. I care about these babies. I got kids. I don't care what color your kids is. But it makes it worse when it's black kids. And Black Lives Matter raised $80 million and they should be covering all their funerals. They can't get a call back. Michael Brown family didn't get paid by Black Lives Matter. None of these people. None of these people's family got paid out. George Floyd's family didn't get paid out. Breonna Taylor's family didn't get paid out. Black Lives Matter owners are buying houses up in the white neighborhood, and they're not even paying out the dead bodies that they make money on. And they dang sure ain't paying for these kids. I just, ladies and gentlemen, we living in the twilight zone, man. We living in the twilight zone. This should wake up everybody in America after you watch this video. We don't even hear their names. Babies. Black and brown bodies. And you know who picking these babies up from? Let's see, where's they pick her up from? She in a park, face down in a car, in his yard. They picking these babies up off the ground. These white police officers that they claim, and they're not just white, but these police officers that they claim are evil, hateful, they should be dismantled. They picking these babies up in the yard. They the ones have to go home and cry to their wives and cry themselves to sleep because they see the lifeless body of these babies. I want to cuss, man. I want to cuss. Screw these people, man. Screw these people. I remember seeing dead kids. That stuff don't sit right. Holding a dead baby, a 3-year-old, mama beat him in the head. I had a 3-year-old at home. I wanted to cry in the hospital. Seeing that baby take his last breath. Everybody crying in there. You know who ain't crying? Black Lives Matter, because they don't know that these kids are losing their lives. They don't care. But your local police officers, they were there. They were there for her. They were there notifying her family. They know her. They know him. They know him. They know these kids. They see them. They see them get put in a body bag. I can't stand these people, man. That's why I fight so hard for law enforcement. People don't understand what they go through. Imagine going and telling this little girl family, you know what? I'm sorry. That lifeless body there is your kid ain't never coming home. Look at this beautiful young man. I got a 10-year-old. He ain't never coming home. I'm sorry. We found him. He was riding a scooter down the road. He ain't never coming home. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you got to watch the family break in front of your eyes. LeBron ain't doing that. These activists ain't doing that. Black Lives Matter ain't doing it. Watching the family break down in front of your eyes. The pain that police officers drag home every day. I still got damaged from being a police officer. And I was a police officer 6.5 years. Imagine people doing it for 20 and 30 years. I still see the image of these people that I've seen die. Some of y'all go to Chick-fil-A at Oracle in Limberlost, and that was your first date. I see a kid that was going 80 miles per hour that hit a light pole and was in the trunk of the car, broken into pieces. That's what I see at Limberlost and Oracle. at Grant and I-10 was your first job, just turning the corner, getting off on the freeway. I see a man that got killed by a drunk driver. I took his post, watched him die, crushed in the car, pulled his billfold out, see his family. Had him in a body bag on the side of the road, knowing that his family don't know that their daddy ain't never coming home because some fool want to get drunk. That's what I see at Grant and the freeway. Grant and I-10 in Tucson. We can keep going. I can never go I-10 eastbound without remembering a man that got ran over by 3 cars all over the freeway. Or in the village, the dude gets shot in the head and his blood is all over my body, all soaked into my shoes. But then you talk bad about police officers and you act like they're out here just killing people for no reason. But you don't know that part of police officers. They don't know that part. They don't know the struggle that you go through. They don't know the nightmares you have. They don't know the suspicion that you always have for the rest of your doggone life. I can't go to sleep without my AR next to my bed. I can't. I'm always paranoid. And I'm not asking nobody to feel sorry for me because I'm a grown man. But then police do this every day. They go see these babies every day. And then they get ridiculed, demonized. They're evil when they do this all day long, all year. Then they get into a shooting and people, their whole career is gone. You know what I mean? People I've saved. I wasn't even a cop for 6.5 years. 6.5, that's it. And I saved, I can't count on my hands how many people's lives I saved. How many gunshot victims, patching their wounds up in the middle of Stone and Fort Lowe, right across from the QT. In the middle of the street, the dude begging me and Jake, please don't let me die. Hoping to God that we patching him up and he gonna live because we telling him he gonna be all right, but we don't know if he's gonna live. Thank God he lived. Come on, man. That's why you better respect them police officers out there. Tell them thank you for your service. They out here grinding, man. They out here seeing stuff that you can't unsee. Taking on burdens that people can't bear. I used to go to calls and I used to take everybody's burdens and put them on myself and tell them everything's going to be okay. Tell them that you're going to make it through this. And I go home with all that burden on me. Go home crying. I don't have a life. Go home broken on the inside. But I'm giving them hope. And I go home without hope. And I know officers, sometimes they want to kill themselves. I thought about it. I plenty of times I thought about it. Go to work and put all that I got into other people and I come home empty. If it wasn't for the grace of God, I'd be dead. Because I wouldn't have nothing. Watching people in their worst moment every day, 10, 12, 13 hours a day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Seeing people at their worst. See a woman beat up so bad, both her eyes bleeding. Having a lady to have to tell you in detail what that man did to her in that room. With a knife. Thank God he spent the rest of his life in prison. Going into a house with a kid that was 19 years old. She looked like she about 10 because she hadn't eaten. She hadn't eaten a good meal in 2 years. Her parents had her and her sisters locked in a house for 2 years where they couldn't even see each other. They didn't go outside for 2 years. They put masks over their head when they go to the restroom. He had music blaring 24 hours, 7 days a week so they couldn't communicate. Thank God we took that call. and rescued them girls. And I wanted to beat his, you know what, but I didn't. He faked the seizure. He spit on my uniform. I wanted to choke him lifeless for what he did to them kids. That's just Brandon Tatum. You know what I mean? He cops out here. And I'm not saying this for no pity party because we built for this stuff. But I'm just telling you, you need to know what's going on. You need to know why a cop may be short with you one day. After we put the guy on the gurney that bled out brain matter all over my face, on my uniform, soaked into my shoes. I had to go home and change my clothes. I had to come back to work, and I took a call for service from an elderly lady that had a burglary call that was 10 hours old. I was zoned out. I couldn't believe what I just saw. And she's telling me what people stealing from my house. I don't even remember what she was saying. I'm writing down. It probably was scribble. She probably was wondering, what's wrong with this guy? She had no idea I just saw that. She had no idea I just rescued a guy that got shot in the head with a third of his brain gone. On a gurney, running down the street because we couldn't get his whole body on the gurney. He only had his top part and his legs. We holding his legs, running a half a block because firefighters can't come to the scene unless you make it safe and cuddly. No offense to them because they don't have no guns or no body armor. So we gotta respect that. But we had to run a half a block with this man, 270-pound man. Only by the grace of God I could get that man from the ground to the gurney with a dog leash. Had to use a dog leash because you couldn't grab him. He was so bloody. Yeah, I got stories. 6.5 years. Imagine 20 years. Imagine 30 years. Imagine somebody working in Chicago on the South Side where they see all these kids. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings, man. I think people need to know about this stuff. Know about it. Don't believe me. Go for your request. Go for your request the cases and read the police report where they talk about what they did and how they found these kids. Go read the report for yourself. Don't believe Brandon Tatum. Don't believe me on the stuff I'm talking about. Go to Tucson Police Department and for your request all of my calls. Just do the major ones. Classified 0101. I forget the classifications now. Just get the major ones. Get Sophia Richter. Go look up the Sophia Richter case and get Brandon Tatum's case report and get the detectives and everybody. Read all that stuff what happened to them little girls that they did to them. I forget the other guy's name with the drug deal gone bad in the village, but go look up Brandon Tatum's case reports and see the stuff that I seen, that I had to document. Anyway, that's why I support police officers the way I do. This live stream wasn't supposed to be about that, but that's why I support them. That's why when I look at people criticize police officers and they just doing their job, that's why it bothers me, man. It bothers me. And people need to show cops more respect.